Hi guys, welcome back to Catch Presents. This is the final episode for this run of the series. We will be back in the future, but at the moment, I've got Moss here, legend in the Brisbane scene in my eyes. But so how are you, Moss?
I'm good, man. Good. How are you?
Good to see you, man. What's been going on lately?
What's
You've
been
been
going on?
quiet.
Yeah.
You've got some, you had some releases come out recently and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're ready to hit the scene again. Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Well, obviously, COVID's thrown a bit of everything in the works,
Yeah.
just to get it out of the gate. But just we put out a couple of singles, or I put out a couple of singles earlier in the year. And then, we're just getting ready. Keep saying we, just me and the team.
Yeah. Well, it is a team. It's always a team effort.
Exactly. To gear up for next year.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
it's great. Yeah.
Because you
Looking
only
good.
just sort of signed to Catch before this whole thing started. The COVID
Exactly,
thing,
right?
So, yeah.
It's like we
The best timing.
I signed with the boys here at Catch, and then it all just happened, I guess. And
You just go with the flow, mate. You go with the flow.
yeah, that's the thing. It's been a big process of we just trust in the process, and I think it gives more time to prepare for when everything's a bit more open as well. Like we got some great great music.
I heard
think,
you
and
talking about some stuff just before. So, there's definitely going to be some cool stuff with that.
Yeah,
So,
super excited.
Let's talk about, why, first off, straight up, you're a Brisbane guy, you've played here in clubs and stuff, but you went quiet for a bit working on music. Is that what was happening while you were, it's not that, everyone's like, what's Moss doing? And I was like, I know what he's doing. He's probably working on music, like doing cool, like working on that. So what have you been doing the last, couple of years since you maybe haven't been a resident playing all the time? What's been going on there?
Yeah, well, I was releasing some music, and then I did a couple of sort of mini Australian tours and stuff. And then especially 2019, I took it mostly off just to finish off a particular body work that I have and a bunch of new singles and just have like a bank of releases it's like when we hit it, it just chains together and now it's sort of like I'm writing music for end of next year, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
so you've got music sorted now for the whole. Yeah, you've got a big catalog ready to release.
Yeah. So it's cool like that because it makes it's nice having that buffer as well. And I think it's a hard decision to make to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna dip from social media and stuff. And I think for just for me, it was what I needed at the time as well. And then and now it's at a point where it's I've just got a bunch of stuff ready. And
it's so exciting to be able to. How exciting is that always when you've got like this music and you just want to show everyone? And you're like,
it's
you're
such
like,
a hard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I might chuck it on in the car or something with some mates who just aren't in the music industry and stuff like this is sick or like
this is me, man.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of like, or sometimes don't even say that and it's like, oh, cool, yeah, and then it's a tough thing because we were ready to roll. Like I said, not to bring up COVID too much, but we were ready to roll like after because I put out a single early in the year with Sippy called I Don't Even Know. Sippy, Sydney-based. Yeah, amazing.
I did well, didn't
producer.
it?
Yeah,
like I remember seeing that come up, like good response and stuff.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Like she's like one of my favorite people as well. She's amazing. So it was like I was stoked to finally, we've just been friends forever, so it was great to like.
Oh, cool! So you already knew each other.
Yeah. We
cool.
So it was great to have something out with her, and then I put out a song from the start, and we were ready with Kemba Gold as well, and then we were ready to just keep rolling from there. But it's kind of we've just held off a little bit because it's kind of like just figuring out the landscape, especially with COVID and stuff. But it's getting to the point now where we're like, all right, let's just drop it, man.
You're ready to go.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. Like you said you had that bit of a break, and it's kind of like now I feel like from what you're saying, it's like you've got all this music ready. It's kind of like you want to be able to tour off the back of it.
Yeah,
and actually like
that's
go and play it to people at shows.
Yes, exactly. Like especially when I did those 2 mini Australian tour things or whatever, and I think just playing shows around the country is just so. Like, I just love it.
You
so
love
much,
it, yeah.
And being able to tour off the back of singles as well, and off the back of releases, and just having and building it up like that. It's just, I miss it, man. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and yeah. So we're just trying to figure that out. Well, not figure it out, but it's just biding the time, I
Just
guess, a
waiting
little bit.
till it's the
Yeah.
right time. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think it's coming up to be a bit better. Everything's starting to be a bit more open,
Hey,
especially
Queensland's killing it.
Yeah, Perth, Darwin as
Yeah.
well, and Queensland. Yeah, especially Queensland with the 86 events doing a thing at Sunshine Coast now as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool events popping up, and Adelaide too, sort of starting
Yeah,
to be
it's,
a bit
it's
more.
so good to see everything coming
open.
back. And
Yeah.
soon you'll be able to tour again. So
Yeah,
it's
oh,
awesome.
yeah, we'll hope
well,
so, hope so.
hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, or at least some shows will get around.
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
Yeah.
so what else have you been doing in that time? Like, I think you teach. Do you teach
Yeah.
music production? Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's at where do you do
QUT.
that?
So
Oh,
I
you're at
teach.
QUT.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
teach
cool.
music production and specifically.
Professional.
Yeah,
Not just like
yeah,
not just
I
like
know.
some guy who's like a
I know,
producer who's like,
yeah.
I could teach you to produce. It's like, no, I'm actually at a uni.
Yeah, no, I teach.
How did that happen? How did you?
Yeah, well, I started a Bachelor of Music there.
Okay,
at,
so you knew the staff and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was basically a story of I was studying, did a Bachelor of Music, graduated, and then the next week I was teaching, which
You-
was
you
kind
were
of
there.
like, okay.
That's such a.
It was
that's,
very right timing. I
That's
guess,
so
you know.
similar to like the music industry in general.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's who you know, or
Yeah.
you know someone who knows someone, and then that's how it works. So it's
Mm.
kind of it's funny that's kind of representative of the actual industry.
Yeah, I get you. It's cool. I was good friends with the head of production there, and then sort of built in to be the Ableton specialist.
So that's
of
what
QT.
particularly.
Yeah, basically.
I was going to ask like, what's your
Yeah.
area that you
Yeah,
do
it's
or
pretty
lecture?
much Ableton at QT. So
Yeah.
sort of beginner to advanced Ableton,
Yeah,
all that
cool.
sort of stuff. Yeah,
So you're an
it's-
Ableton guy then.
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
teaching like working in studios with big Neve consoles and SSLs and stuff.
Oh,
and,
sick!
and-
So you
and-
get to use all that stuff.
yeah, teaching people with mic placements.
And so do you get to
that.
use that for your tracks, like if you want to?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah, so a lot of that stuff. Yeah, which is cool.
That's like a huge,
Oh,
for people who are producers.
Massive resource. Yeah,
It's like if you can get a Neve desk, like
Yeah.
they're worth like what 200,000, like they're
Plus,
they're
yeah,
expensive.
pretty much. Yeah, Barefoot
equipment.
monitors and Neumann 420, I guess, speakers, and then LA2A kind of like the proper ones as well, and not just and so we can patch it in and all that sort of stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
man, we
it's
could geek out.
Yeah, we could nerd out,
geek
but
out
you
for
know, yeah.
hours about like
it's just
production
random
stuff.
terms, huh? For people. But yeah.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
the music a bit more, just
Mhm.
because I know we could, we'll do
Yeah.
it later. We'll do
Yeah,
it.
of
we'll,
course.
We'll have a bit of a
we'll
nerd
do
out
it
later.
yeah.
So with the stuff that you're talking about, you've got ready to release. What have you got? Like I actually know you have an EP ready.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Mitch just showed it to me.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's the go with that EP and then
Mhm.
the other stuff you got
Mhm.
coming on?
Well, yeah. Well, EP's ready. It's just biding its time, sort of.
What's the
and-
vibe? Tell everyone because I've heard it. I know what it
Yeah.
sounds like, but
Well,
for everyone else,
I can say it's conceptual, but I can't really go into specifics. But we got a bunch of really cool vocalists and stuff. It's a bit more, like I said, it's a concept.
Yeah.
So everything has its own place, and
Yeah.
some amazing vocalists on it. We have Bianca,
Yeah.
who you might have been talking about with the Bonker Boys before.
yeah.
Fantastic, amazing vocalist. Acacia again, who I had on my first single, Lullaby.
Yep.
She's fantastic. Oh, just incredible vocalist too. And then some rappers as well.
Yeah.
Some guys. So I've got
So you've got
Dude.
sort of some. Is it like hip hoppy tunes or what's the vibe
sort
of
trap.
the EP?
So
like
one of
trappy,
them's,
yeah.
one of them's more hip hop, and then one of
Because
them's
that's always been your vibe. Really.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hip hop, trappy.
yeah,
sort of vibe,
exactly. That's sort of bass. It's just bass music, really. I think is the go.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
one of them is his name is B Light, and then the other one is Kyle Bent, they're both just incredible lyricists and rappers,
Yeah.
and they're just
Where
it's-
from? The States or here?
stateside,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think one's LA, one's New York. So yeah, they're both
Yeah, cool.
incredibly talented dudes. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
And
yeah.
how is it? Like, how good is it? Like, I imagine you would have written the tracks and then sent them
yeah.
to them. Yeah. So how is that when how cool is that when you get the vocals back
Oh,
and you put them in with the track and it just
I know
works
it.
and you're like, this is amazing. Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, I think with technology as well, if there's anything wrong, you just touch it up,
Yeah. It's easy to
But
do.
it's so cool being able to work with someone across the other side of the world, and just be like,
Yeah.
okay, here's this track, here's the concept. Like, this is what I sort of want the subject matter, I guess, to be about.
Yeah.
And then, and then it's like, you get a file back, you whack it in, and then it just fits. Yeah, it's just incredible. Yeah, and it was
So good.
Both of these guys, especially with the rap side of things, it was incredible just to have that kind of. It's just to watch it all come to life, over the course of a couple of weeks, and then and just back and forth over maybe some lyrics and stuff, and then it's done.
Yeah. Can you just change this one little bit?
Yeah,
Instead of saying
exactly.
This word, can you use this word?
Yeah,
Like,
literally. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like, can you just record 2 more takes of that, and then within a week, it's there in your inbox, and it's
Yeah.
all done.
Yeah,
So,
that's it.
Yeah.
Do you actually, because obviously you
sick.
teach
Yeah.
Ableton and
Yeah.
music production and stuff,
Yeah.
do you actually enjoy like getting in the studio and recording with people
Yeah.
like live, like having them
Yes.
in the studio? Is that something you enjoy?
So much. Yeah, I've got. I often get into the studios to do a bunch of recording as well.
Yeah.
Up there, but yeah, I think.
They've got to
It's-
be with you though. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I think being face to face sort of contact and bouncing off someone else's energy in the room is so vital as well. I know it's okay to do it over Skype, Zoom,
Yeah.
whatever. And
It's not the same though. It's not the same.
it's not the same as just having that physical presence and being like, okay, what do you think? What do you think? And then we just vibe out to a particular sound or anything like that. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
So I'm always jumping in trying to get, especially with vocalists as well.
Yeah.
I think it's great because you can start to work on you have a vibe and you build it together, and then and you have such a cool concept of a track. I think.
For sure.
Got some cool ones that we've been working on recently that have especially been like that, and I just love that process so much.
Yeah. So some of the other stuff, we said we got the EP because I already know about that. But what's the other stuff that maybe you're working on that that you obviously you can't say too much about stuff, but what do you got?
A few singles, a bunch of singles.
Yeah.
Some collabs in the works too, and then my next single is ready.
Yeah. Oh, he looks over to the manager and he's like, can I say it?
No, I think we can. We can. Yeah.
Yeah, we can
It's
say it.
my next single is called Shimmer.
Shimmer, yeah.
Yeah. And it's been more of a big RL grime kind of style
Oh, cool.
track.
Yeah,
I think.
nice.
And so that one's soon.
Yeah.
That one's very soon.
Soon, like is there a date set or it's like in the works?
The date's almost set.
All right,
so
the date's almost
it's within
set, so
the
we can't
next,
give it out.
It's
Before the end of the year.
Yeah,
Before,
yeah.
A couple of months
It's-
or whatever.
I think-
Yeah, it's
I think
coming.
November sometime
Yeah,
is what we're
sweet.
looking. So yeah, it's
Keen to look out for that. And so
yeah.
what's the stuff that you're working on that's going to be in the end of next year that you're talking about? Like what's the stuff you're working on now? Is it similar to what you're doing with this EP?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Similar, sound or whatever. Yeah.
A bit different sound. I think it's more more developed. I think as well.
Okay.
So it's interesting because you have. It's like that cursor, right? You have your body of work, and then you're like, okay, it's done. Let's just get it signed and get it out, and then and get it going and let everyone hear it. I think is the thing is like some of these tracks, this EP I've been working on for a couple of years. Like,
So it's been that long you've been working. on the EP,
yeah. But it's I think it's like when you have something, and you're like, oh, I'm not. It's not up to the standard of which
That's
'cause
everyone's always their problem. It's like, it's not as good. Like it needs to be. I don't know, but
then
you don't
get up
know
to the
what
point,
to do at that stage.
Yeah, you get up to the point where you're happy with it, and then you grow, and then you're like, oh, I need to go back and touch it up.
Yeah, because you
my
learn something
production
new.
skills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe I have this like crazy idea for a new bridge or something, or a new sound, like, oh, that'd be so sick to have this kind of sound effect like grow through the course of a chorus or something. Yeah. And I think like that, it's it's kind of a curse, but it also develops the sound a bit more. But I think the EP now I've kind of just like put in a lockbox and being like, no, like,
that's it.
there's some
It's
things in
done.
there that I'm like, okay, I've progressed past that. Like, I think production sonically, like technically, I think there's some little bits where I maybe I was still probably touching on it, but like it's in a point where it's like, well, I'm working on stuff now that is like
Put it in the
ahead,
past, it's
you know?
done.
And so, you know, if the EP comes out, it's like, it's great. And it's just like everything from there is progressing as well.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
and that
it.
progression is what, it's the story that you tell as an artist. You
I
know?
love that.
Yeah.
I'm all about that, you know, like
Yeah.
seeing people's progression from the start.
Yeah.
You know, when they started to where they are now, and just that improvement that you see from artists, you know. So
Yeah, exactly.
I love seeing that. But
Yeah.
what have you? Let's talk about. I really want to know about the teaching though, because
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. Do you
Yeah.
find that helps you to learn things or cement ideas in your mind? Because
Yes.
I think that's important. Like
Mhm.
they always say, teaching's the best way to learn.
Yeah, there's a couple of things, right, that I think teaching has helped so much because first of all, when you teach someone something, you reinforce it in your mind, yeah,
Yeah.
and you sort of it helps solidify the concepts in your mind. You're like, oh, okay, like the compression is just like second nature now. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
everything, like I've taught it so many times that it's like, okay, I just
Yeah.
like that's.
You know,
It's just
inside
like
and
right,
out,
yeah.
yeah.
When I first started learning, I was like, "What is going on with
Yeah.
compressor? I don't get it." But the main thing I think is, you know, when you market people's assignments or anything like that, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a part of teaching, right? Yeah, there's just a bunch of you just listen to people's mixes, right? And
Yeah.
and you give feedback on people's mixes and mix
Yeah.
downs and all that sort of stuff, and in turn, you give feedback on 100 mix downs. Your ears, you go back and listen to your stuff. You just give yourself feedback on all your mix downs, right?
Yeah.
And then all your song, yeah, all my music has just improved exponentially. I think
Yeah.
mix wise, because of all of that. It's
It's
great.
like you almost get you're almost practicing critical listening, so that
Yeah.
when you work
Yeah.
when you listen to your tunes, you go, oh, I can hear that, you know, this thing's going wrong or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. And there's so much like so many talented students and everyone.
Yeah,
and they just
yeah.
have amazing ideas, and it's really cool to just see people grow from the stuff you teach them as well.
Yeah.
I think it's like I love giving back with
Yeah.
to things like whether it be that or like yeah, just teaching in general. I think and giving back to and giving back knowledge because I didn't necessarily get a bunch of knowledge myself. So it's like teaching it or learning it, giving it back to people is just like it's such an amazing
Yeah.
thing. I think it's like I think there's no sort of secrets in that regard, and it's just like
Yeah.
you just give away the things
Yeah.
that really matter. I think as well, and yeah, it's just like
Yeah, so
wholesome-
you enjoy that.
wholesome
Yeah, yeah,
vibes,
you enjoy
you
that
know?
passing on the information.
Yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
interesting though, because you just said that like the information that you didn't get, but you did the course that they're doing. So what is it? Is this other stuff that you've learned after the course?
Oh,
that you're
yeah,
then
no,
bringing
like-
back and like sharing with people.
Yeah, I think it's more in the sense of the course taught me so much, like heaps, like performing live as a musician and
Yeah.
writing music and collaborating with others and recording stuff in the studios and all of that sort of thing, and Ableton as well. But it's the industry secrets.
the other stuff, yeah.
It's
It's
the
the other
it's the ones
things
that
you've
are
learned.
gate kept. You know, they have that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
under heavy lock and key. Not that QT didn't teach me that sort of stuff. There was
Yeah.
some cool things in there, especially. But I think in the electronic sphere,
It's different.
yeah, there's a bunch of that sort of stuff as well that is kind of like, well, this is how you can do this, and it achieves this result, and then people are like,
Yeah.
oh wow, that's how someone does that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's more what I meant, like the ones that are guarded.
Yeah,
I think
for
that,
sure.
Yeah, more people know them, better music is made.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is about at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You know, like
it's
the
making
music
cool
and
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
Right. And it's like when people are like, oh, I don't give away my samples or share any of this. It's, if you give someone a sample, they're going to use it, I guarantee you, in a different way than you're going
Yeah.
to use it every time.
Yeah.
And unless they just rip like a loop and put it in and it's just the same thing, right?
Yeah.
If it's just like some crazy drum sample or something, they're going to use it different to you. So why guard it? Why keep
Yeah,
it? Like,
yeah.
why,
You
hold
can
on
just
to it
sample
like
it
a-
off your song anyway if they
Exactly.
want to play it. You know, like some of the
If they're-
software out there now.
If they're
can just-
hardcore enough, yeah, exactly.
that's
just
it.
like splice it out, really.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what started this? Like, obviously, you're very into and passionate about like music production and stuff
Yeah,
like that. So,
yeah.
so how did that start for you? Like music. How did we get into this? How did you get to where you are now, like with this
yeah.
love for music and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, from a young age, I was sort of, I was taught piano when I was a kid. You know, not necessarily saying that I enjoyed it heaps as a kid. It was more. It wasn't Amy Beatha or anything. It was more like jazz piano, which is fantastic.
Oh, jazz.
Yeah, really
That's
cool.
sick.
And then from there, you know, it was kind of a chore, but like I took away a lot of really good lessons. And I'm, you know, it's like when your parents are like, you'll be thankful for this one day. It's like, yes, I
Classic,
am. I actually am though, you know. And then I did music all through school, was like in the choir, played instruments and
So when are we hearing your vocals then on one of your tracks? If you're in the choir, mate.
you have to listen out. They're probably pretty heavily manipulated, but I've got
Oh, so there are some in your tracks?
not in like the EP, but yes, coming up.
Yeah,
there's
sick.
some. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
And
keen
then-
to hear that.
Yeah, and then I did music in high school, and it was cool. It was okay. It was very much, you know, Sibelius, that program where you just like, there's only so much Sibelius I can take, right? And then I took a gap year after high school, picked up Ableton, and started learning that, and then
Just went right.
because I
into
sort
it,
of started getting into DJing, like your shot and all that sort of stuff, and started and picked up my Oh Hello residency, which is like, you know, life changing, and then from there just built into Ableton and production and love of music.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's it.
and how it's made. Yeah. So
So
it
just
was
progressed from there.
It just progressed, and
So there wasn't any one thing where you were like, you went and saw a show where you did a thing, or you saw someone and you went, I'm going to do that. It wasn't like that, or it was?
I saw JT, Justin Timberlake in 2007 for the Future Sex Love Show.
Oh,
It was the first concert I ever went to.
yeah.
And from there, I was like, I want to be a
Music.
musician.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that show was incredible.
How
I have
old
it
were
on
you when you
DVD.
saw that?
Yeah.
How old were you when you saw that?
Oh, like 12, I think.
Oh, okay.
12,
Yeah.
So not anything crazy.
Yeah.
And then, so from there, just like fell in love with being a musician or having a platform to share music across with a wide range of people.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I think that was the
that's-
main thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
cool,
how
man.
I just didn't understand how to do that for a while, and then found it. You know, after high
That's it.
school.
It's always
Yeah.
a learning process
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's I want to listen to
Let's
some of
break.
the other
Let's
stuff.
show some. Yeah.
Let's play some tunes and
Yeah.
we'll come back after.
Perfect.
Let's have a break.
All right, cool.
So we're back, guys. We just had those tunes. You sang on that. I didn't even know
Yeah,
tune from
I forgot
Sydney.
to
You were
mention
like,
it.
You were saying before,
Yeah.
I'm starting to sing on stuff, but
yeah.
well,
It's not really singing, it's just
Yeah.
talking, I guess. But
Yeah.
that's me saying I don't even know on the Sippy one.
yeah.
So,
cool. So
yeah.
you're in that.
Yeah, I guess
you
so.
kind of sung on that.
It's
one.
the first premiere of my vocals on a track, right?
Yeah.
So
So, but you're actually singing on some of this
yes,
stuff.
yeah,
don't you?
actually singing, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, properly.
Yeah,
So-
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about a little bit about, you know, how you came up in Brisbane and,
Mhm.
you know, and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah.
So what was like, how did you start DJing and that? What happened there?
Well, I was in
You're
your
a
shot.
weapon behind the decks.
Yeah,
From before.
yeah. I was in your shot in like 2014.
Yeah.
And
That was a great year for your shot.
Yeah, so
Like,
many
so
cool
many-
people.
yeah,
You know,
awesome
Dimes,
people, yeah.
PLA. Like,
In Brisbane anyway, I don't know about the other cities. but
yeah, and like K Fox and all that sort of stuff was
Yeah.
that year. And then, so I did that. I was a resident X and Y for a little while.
Oh,
So I-
really? You're an X and Y?
Yeah,
With
I
like
was-
Alexander Dunster and all those guys?
yeah. Well, I think it was a
Dunster, Kate
little
Johnson,
bit. I think
or-
I was before then.
Okay, so you're before that.
Yeah, I was doing like Friday. I was with this guy called Enzo.
Oh, Enzo. I know
yeah,
him.
yeah,
He picked me up in an Uber one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Random.
And I was doing 9 till 3 on a Friday, and then 9 till 5 on a Saturday AM.
How hectic are those long sets? eh?
Yeah. It's like you need to, no breaks or whatever.
That's where you learn to be a good DJ.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly, and that was great. And then I got picked up at Oh Hello for more
Yeah.
trap nights and stuff because I was
So
where I was
how did that
passionate.
happen? How did you get into the Oh Hello?
Oh man, there was this
Damn.
legend of a dude, Tim Pursley.
Tim,
you
I know Tim.
Yeah,
Tim's a legend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the Bixel Boys. If you remember Bixel Boys, they had the Free
Yeah.
Life jerseys and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
they were playing in town at Oh Hello, and I was walking to my residency at XNY.
Just over the road for people not from Brisbane. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were there, and Tim was there, and I said, "Man, I love everything you're doing." I met the Big Soup Boys, said hi, got a photo, fanboyed a little bit.
Yeah.
Talked to Tim, and was like, "Man, like I'd love to. I love everything you're doing here, and really appreciate your club nights." And then we just got talking, and I got put on a night, and it went well, and just built it up from there. So yeah, it was fantastic, and eventually became the sort of trap support artist with like Tom Scott, Party Platypus, and Damien. Knuth.
Damien Knut. I don't know how you say his last name.
Yeah. Damo, the legend, and then Killer Prince.
Killer Prince.
Exactly. Yeah, and we were always, just had the best time being residents there, and that was fun. Yeah.
Any highlight stories from Oh Hello? Like moments where you were just
so many, man. We just had the best times. It was whether it be like this, was it Stereosonic after party with Watson not coming in, and then he brought Skrillex and back to back for 2 hours. Yeah. Or nights where it's just packed with Grand Theft or Slander or any of that sort of stuff. Yeah. There's just the amount of artists that came through there, like Odessa or Kashmir Cat or even Allison with her warehouse parties and all that sort of thing. We just had the best time with all those events, and all of them. Just the atmosphere was amazing,
Yeah.
I just the things I would do to go back into those, like the lanterns, and have another night there. Like that was so fun. I don't really have any standouts because it was all just incredible.
Just good vibes all the time.
Yeah. It was
a lot of the times when you're like playing at a club and you're a resident. It's not even about the big nights when you've got big artists and stuff. It's like just sometimes it's the nights when you've got just the residents there.
Yeah.
And you just have like a mad night.
Yeah. Sometimes I remember there was one where it was like the Mecca races after party, and I was the headliner and got to play some of my music, and there was just all my friends there, and it's just so wholesome. It's like there's a new song of mine, and it's like and it was great.
This is Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that stuff, that shit makes me like nostalgic. Well, no, it just makes me like
appreciate.
Just grateful and warms my heart,
for those
man.
times.
Like, just the fact that the support, and it's like those people still are supportive and to this day, and I just love that. It's cool. It's really like wholesome.
Yeah.
So grateful for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Like, so what about let's talk about DJing a little bit.
Yep.
You said you've done some Australian tour stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you been? Like, is there any places in Australia, states maybe you haven't been?
I haven't properly played in like South Australia or Northern Territory.
So what do you mean by I haven't properly played? So you have played, but you haven't...
I've been there. I've jumped on the decks once, but like not. It was just like a little bit of fun. You know what I mean? It's not like a set.
Play there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Northern Territory I haven't played, and I haven't played in ACT either, or Tasmania, I guess, and that's it. So sort of we got up North Queensland a bunch as well, up in the touch up boys. Oh, Mackay,
that's right. I'm a
Rockhampton,
North Queensland boy.
Townsville, the
Aotearoa. Where have you played in Townsville?
It was at like with the blackout events. Boys, if you remember those.
Sure.
And
where at though? Like what venue was
I can't remember what it's called. You know, it's like, but there's like the strip. And then there's the roundabout, and there's the one on the corner there.
Oh, okay. So you were at Flinders Social, which would have been...
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one.
Hoodrich, Jake Reed, he's one of the guys who runs that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So Hoodrich, he's involved with that. But
yeah,
that's where I started DJing. So that's how...
amazing.
You're talking about my whole... that's my fucking...
In that room, they've got all the...
Yeah, you're talking about Brisbane for me kind of thing.
Beautiful. Yeah.
But yeah, so
such a great place. Yeah.
Yeah, good fun up there, man.
Yeah.
And just good times. But so where do you want to tour? Where's the is there a place where you would just be like, oh man, I'd love to go there?
Japan for sure.
Japan,
yeah. Just like I
what
love,
is it about Japan that
I don't know, the underground scene, like I've followed the underground scene there quite religiously.
So what is the underground scene there? Because I don't know the music scene in Japan.
Yeah, there's just a lot of
underground scene.
Well, there's just like a lot of incredible artists coming up through Japan, and like
but what kind of music are we talking about?
It's more like it's like really future thinking, like bass music. It's kind of hard to describe, but it it covers a lot of different genres. I would say switch it out. A lot of different
Here's
genres.
one I prepared earlier.
Yeah, exactly. A lot like there's so yeah. It's just it's crazy. Just like especially because everything sort of revolves around a lot of pentatonics as well. But it's just the amount of like, I think Australia certainly has like a lot of unique kind of production skills and assets and facets that we bring to the world scene, right?
Yeah.
Japan also has that in this completely new sort of like realm way. And it's like, I think there's just so much that to trawl through as well. And that the underground nightclub sort of scene over there also really supports that too. Yeah. And like, I just love Japan as well.
Yeah. So have you been there then?
No.
Oh, so you haven't been, you love it when you haven't been there.
Exactly. So I just need to go. I just need to go, yeah.
I was just drinking soju on a podcast recently. That Graveyard Storm left it, left at the studio.
What flavor?
Peach.
Peach is good. Peach
What's
is
your
good.
favorite?
I'm more of a grape fan with the.
I mean, I've only had peach. I've never tried the other flavors.
Jinro. I think Jinro is the brand. Is it Jinro?
Yeah.
Or Chum Charam. Yeah, they're both good. Yeah.
What it was.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So even though you haven't been there, you're fully into it. So you love that other culture of it. Like
yeah.
As well.
I mean, soju's more of a. I think it's more of a. It's like Korean rice wine as well.
I don't even know what it is.
But it's I love everything Japanese for sure. I also want to obviously get to the States and do that. Once we have more music rolling and start to build up more of a, everything. But stateside is where it's
I've heard the tunes. Like, I think, there's definitely potential there for that kind of a thing. But so what?
It's just timing.
Yeah, that's it. Like at the moment, it's for everyone.
Exactly.
It's a weird time, but
yeah.
How was like the COVID period been for you? Like, have you been able to get in the studio and work on music and really, get some stuff done? Like, actually have a few sessions,
it's been ups and downs. Hey, like there's been a lot of. I've just written a lot of genres. I think as well, and I've been in the studio a bit. It's more been over Zoom and stuff, and and doing
as
that.
in when you're working with other artists.
Yeah. But vocalist wise, I've jumped in the studio as well with a bunch. The main thing is, I think COVID's been tough for it's been more of it's a hard time to, people are like, oh, I'm not being productive or anything in COVID. It's like, no, you're being productive or struggling to be productive in a hard time for everyone,
Yeah.
And it's just, I think COVID, a close friend told me it's just like trust in the process, I guess. Because I think 2020, as awful as it has been, for us lucky enough to not be affected by it, it's like, I think it's trusting in the process for self-improvement and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
And especially with my production, it's just been like writing a bunch of stuff, whether it be D&B or like...
D&B? You write drum and bass?
Yeah, and like lo-fi hip-hop, like have a sort of...
Man, everyone's starting lo-fi hip-hop projects. So that's the vibe. Like, it's so easy to listen to, and you don't have to make it sound amazingly
3 a.m.
awesome.
study mix type beat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what kind of drum and bass you've been writing then? Because like drum and bass is quite diverse. With
more of this sort of future style that's coming out, like this carousel project sort of style, or I guess Urban Dawn is like a more of a popular sample. Yeah, and sort of like, I think it's neo signal type of vibe. Yeah, it's like cool. Just figuring out like these. The production is all so crisp, and I'm just trying to figure out how they do it. I tried to write
drum and bass the other day. And someone who writes tech house usually, I was like, it sounds like a tech house song just sped up. Like
right. Yeah.
Even though I'm using drum and bass breaks like patterns and stuff. It's like, I'm like, it still sounds like a tech house track.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
exactly.
Weird,
No, it's just like, I love the drum and bass scene as well. There's just been so much. I think Synergy is another great artist or duo. They're just like, there's just so much really cool really cool sound design and forward thinking stuff coming out of there. And it's like
And drum
no
and
one
bass
else
is-
is making any of that sort of sounds, and it's just incredible. Like,
I feel like
Yeah.
drum and bass has always been like it's always been a huge sound since it came out.
Mhm.
And it's always going to be, but it's just in the last like year or two, it's just started to really
Blown
like
up.
have a resurgence. Like
Yeah.
to really like come
Yeah.
back.
And especially like I think Noisy Radio highlighting a lot of artists and
Yeah.
a lot of new radios, radio sort of stations popping up around the drum and bass sort of scene and like new
Yeah.
mixes and stuff. Yeah, it's so cool. Like,
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's just
And
one of
I-
those
I
like,
like-
driving music. You're like, yes,
There's
yes.
nothing better than like there's so much energy in drum and bass as well.
Yeah.
So it's like it's such a great I don't know, it's just fun
Yeah,
to listen
it's like
to.
restrained, but it's not. Yeah, it's not like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not like
it can be
hard style
chill,
where you're
but
like,
yeah, it's very diverse,
Yeah,
like I
yeah, it
said,
has that
yeah.
kind of like restraint, but also like fluidity. I think that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
Definitely.
is comforting
it's so good.
somehow. Yeah,
So you're loving
Yeah.
making that stuff at the
DMB.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you might hear some Moss DMB tracks, but we'll see. You know.
So that's what you, but probably not till the end of next year. is
Oh,
that
I
what
don't know.
you're
We'll
saying?
see. We'll see. There might be some, remixes.
Squeeze
of-
some in.
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
Yeah,
We'll have to.
yeah,
Have
that's
to
it.
see. It depends. It depends. Because they're sort of in the bank right now and just being like,
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
You
We'll see what
can't,
happens.
You can't just put it.
yeah, yeah.
You know what? Like, yeah, I feel like drum and bass is not the right music to be listening to at home at the moment.
Yeah, it depends. I do.
I mean,
but-
I could
yeah.
still listen to drum and bass.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, it's
Yeah.
probably not. But
Yeah.
so what do we got coming up then? Like, what are your plans
Mhm.
and dreams and things? Like, what do you
Mhm.
want to do? I
Mhm.
love asking this question to people
Yeah.
because
It's cool.
it's always so different. Like, some
Mhm.
people are like, oh, I just want to do my thing.
Yeah.
But do you have anything specific that you want to like do?
Yeah. Well, there's this, especially the EP, obviously, getting
Yeah.
that done. We've got a lot of, I think COVID's allowed us to have a lot more time to flesh out and prepare all the release plans around it. I guess I'm not trying not to be super specific, but and just have a really like developed plan for that and content as well. A lot of a lot of visual
Yeah.
and
Visual works. Is
Yeah.
this like the
And a
for like the
performance.
EP launch or for future stuff? Like, is it
EP
visual
launch
stuff,
and sort of future stuff as well, and planning
Yeah.
like the story of all of that, because it's very much
Yeah.
about stories and how
yeah.
that all flows together. And then Shimmer, that single next, and then building in with maybe a couple more singles before the EP,
I was gonna say,
or
when's the EP? Like,
or
when's the
dropping.
EP?
Yeah, well, we don't have an exact
You don't
date
have
on
a
it.
date
Yeah,
yet,
but
yeah.
like it's closing in
Before
It's
the
clo-
end of the year, probably, maybe.
We'll see. I feel
Yeah.
like the EP will be more 2021 now.
Yeah.
It was it was going to be this year, but we're sort of just like, I think
Like we said
2021.
before, like so you can tour
Yeah.
and you can go and see people and play.
Yeah,
and
I
see
guess
the
so. Yeah,
response.
touring is a big aspect of it, but I think it's just having that progression of story as well towards EP. Like, because
Yeah.
I just want to have a couple of-
Okay, so you're gonna
key
drop some
release-
stuff before and then go, hey, here's
yeah,
the
that
EP,
help push into that as well.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
a bit more palatable, I think, as well.
Yeah.
From a bass music perspective. It's not as sort of it appeals to more of a wider audience as well, I think, which is cool. Has a bit of something for everyone. There's a lot of genres in it. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
cool.
like a little
Yeah, a little salt.
yeah,
maybe,
yeah, a
sprinkle on
little
for
just
everyone.
like you have this, you have this, you have this, whatever you
nice.
like, go for that.
But it all sounds like a
Sounds
body
like
of
me.
work.
Yeah.
Sounds like you. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think limiting yourself to a genre is so restrictive, and I
Yeah.
think, this EP especially, it's like every song is a different genre, basically.
Yeah.
And in that sense, some people might be against that, but I don't care because it's just like I'm writing music that I like, that I want to make, and I think, I just write a bunch of genres and it's just whatever I like that's
Yeah.
it. So cool.
I think that's the hardest thing to master as an artist, though,
Mhm,
is
mhm.
to be able to write
Yeah.
a whole range of different genres and
Mm.
people still be able to go, oh, that's Moss. Like, oh, that
Yeah.
sounds like this person. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big thing that's, like,
Like having those
that's
characters.
challenging. That's the most challenging
Yeah.
thing in music.
And I think it's like having your signature sounds you sort of carry through, a signature
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
For me, it's very cinematic, I guess, as well. That's what I love, like cinematic kind of stuff.
So where did that come from?
I don't
You
know.
know, like,
Film
was this
score,
something-
like I've scored a couple of short films as
Oh,
well.
you have.
Yeah, yeah, and all
How's
sort of
that?
thing.
Because
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like a lot of work, though.
It is a bunch, but it's so cool to back and forth with the director on the creative vision of the project and like what sort of
Yeah.
sounds or sort of styles work with different characters and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think like that's eventually what I'll get into is film scoring is like
Yeah.
my passion. But I'm always like if I'm not listening to electronic music, I'm listening to film scores in my
Yeah.
spare time.
Yes,
That's it. If I'm driving, it's
do you
film
have
scores.
Do you have any favorites then?
Oh well, I'm a very big Hans Zimmer fan. You know the classic. You know,
Yeah.
sort
I
of
mean, how
Interstellar
can you-
kind of thing.
Have you listened to? And we're getting a little bit geeky again
Yeah,
into
yeah.
like music and stuff. But have you listened to the Lord of the Rings symphony that was written not for the movie but for the books?
No,
I'll
you have to send me that.
link.
Yeah.
It's sick.
But
Like,
also, you know, it's stuff like Jeremy Sewell, the guy who did all like Skyrim,
yeah. So
Right.
So not even
Oblivion
just
kind of
movies and stuff. It's also like
video
other
games.
stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I mean, like you think about the cool thing about video game soundtracks is like they're designed to make you focus on the game or enhance as a secondary
Yeah.
feature, right? And just
Yeah.
I think listening to them while driving or any of that stuff, I'm like more like concentrating on driving or like you like, listen to the story that's been told or something
Yeah.
that's like, you know, this is for a winter morning and you're like, okay, you can feel that aesthetic, you know? I think that's kind of that's just like what I love to translate in my
Yeah.
music because like when I write, it's more to a vision as well.
Yeah.
You know,
So you've got an idea for the song before you don't just go in and go, oh, I'm going to try write this bass line and that. You sort of go in and go, this is what I want.
yeah. Or it's like you know, it's to a image or
Yeah,
imagery
yeah.
or a scene that's happening in my mind. And
You
then-
actually have something that
Yeah.
you're getting inspired from.
yes.
Yeah.
So my my next single Shimmer is sort of revolves around like kind of glass fragments in space, I guess.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
definitely
so-
heard. I could picture that before when you were
Yeah,
playing it. Yeah. It
yeah.
sounded.
Yeah. And so
Totally
it's kind of like
picture
these
that.
fragments floating through space.
Yeah.
In this like the cosmos of the universe, I guess it is weird, but anyway, it's like I keep all that stuff kind of very. That's the stuff that I keep close knit, I guess. But what I sort of base it off, but it's always with the visual stuff, it always just ties in. Like,
Yeah.
and I love that, you know. So yeah, film music is what I want to get into in the
Yeah.
future, but I try to translate that through my music anyway, and having that kind of like epicness or like
yeah.
that sensitivity or emotion that kind of like flows through, you know?
And that's so
Yeah.
good for like breakdowns, build ups, like
Yeah.
that cinematic, ambient sort of sound.
Yeah.
Like,
It gives it a little bit more, you know, a
just
little
gives it
bit
something,
more.
and it gives it that break. And
Yeah.
as you would know, like the beauty of music is that tension and release.
Mm,
So
mhm,
it's like,
mhm.
yeah, that's what it's about. Really.
Exactly.
So is that something you play on a lot in your music then?
Yeah. Even in live shows as well, in sets.
Yeah.
I often throw in stuff that like kind of has a bit more of a touch. Like I play Hans Zimmer in my sets.
Oh,
you know?
really?
Yeah. But
Like as in little sections of it.
yeah. Not a whole.
Yeah. Not a whole track.
Yeah.
Because
Anyway,
10,
here's 30
15
minutes of Batman. Like, it's like little bits here and there that kind of like, but just blending them in.
Yeah.
So it kind of has that like helps enhance the build up.
Yeah,
towards
it works.
The drop, right?
It works,
yeah.
yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool. Like I love it so much. You know.
Yeah, that's it,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's anyway.
So what have we got in terms of shows? Have you got anything that you want to go and play? Like when you do this tour and stuff, is there anywhere you want to go play or places you want to go back to or anything?
Yeah. Oh, I just love to play. I think
Just
you know?
anywhere.
Yeah.
Just get out and play.
and do,
Because
and
like
do
I
it.
said, like I said, you had a break for a while. So when
Mhm.
was the last like show you played?
Proper show.
Yeah, not just playing a few tunes at home with the
No,
boys or girls.
of
or
course. I think it
whatever.
would be in Perth last year for the
Yeah.
Your Shot kind of competition.
Oh, so you went over and played for that?
Yeah. Well, I was a trainer for that.
Yeah.
as well.
Oh,
in
so you
Perth.
went over to Perth and trained.
Yeah, and then I played at the event days as well, and then and played at the court in Perth, sort of main stage.
Yeah,
thing.
cool.
And then I think that was my last show they played, which was super cool. And yeah.
So you've done Your Shot before then, or
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I was in it in 2014.
yeah.
And then I've trained worked as a trainer as well, sort of for the competition.
How long
And
have you done that for then, the training stuff?
I did Brisbane in like 2017,
Yep.
and then the majority of Melbourne in 2018, and then majority,
Melbourne?
yeah,
Yeah,
majority of Perth in 2019. Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah, which is cool.
So you
it's-
enjoy that stuff?
Oh
Like-
yeah, it's that whole giving back concept
So
we talked
it's
about.
teaching
right?
again. It's
Yeah,
coming back to
yeah,
teaching. Yeah.
It's just like some person who's never DJ'd before, or
Yeah.
that, and you know, sometimes people don't have this, like they love music, but it's like a confidence thing and all that sort of thing. And then you teach them how to DJ, and then
Yeah.
you get to watch them play in front of their family and friends, having the best time of their lives, like
Yeah. You kind of
up
get
on
to
stage.
you kind of get to watch them blossom, right?
Yeah, right. And it's that sort of act of giving back, and it's super authentic as well. And
Yeah.
and I think that's what I get out of it as well. You know, inspiring people to be in the music industry and create music and all that sort of stuff, and,
Yeah.
and mix music. It's yeah, like that's just, I just like love that. So
Passing on the information.
yeah, pretty much.
You know, like,
pretty
and
much.
we need people to do that in the industry always.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just
uh,
getting more people into it. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So what you know, what you said I want to touch a little bit on the jazz piano stuff.
Okay.
Because
yeah,
that's cool, man. Like jazz
Mm.
is very experimental and
Yes.
you know, a lot of, you know, improvisation and stuff and
Yeah.
stuff. So has that, you know, that jazz piano stuff
Mhm.
have you found that's helped you a lot? I imagine it
Yeah,
would
I think it helped me sort of think outside the box with a lot of things.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it's what helped me get into music in the sense of thinking outside the box. You know, like oh, Ableton, I could do that, and just like, oh, this is a sound design. Like, oh, I can figure it out this way. Or it's like that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of. I think the music theory behind it is very like fluid. You
I
know,
think that's
and you
awesome to have the music
Yeah.
theory because like a lot of
Yeah.
people who do music production, they have no music theory.
yeah,
At least to have it there, and you don't have to be like, oh, I don't call on it all the time. But
Mhm.
when I know I need to do, I need a chord here, you're like,
yeah.
oh, I know how to write that.
Yeah, I think a lot of like I don't incorporate jazz chords into my music. It's
yeah,
more
but
of
you
a
understand music on a
yeah.
broader level.
Yes, yeah. It gives you an insight into the other side, like a sort of different window that's less
Yeah.
classical. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you have this very regimented view of music, and then it's like, oh, okay, there's all this amazing stuff
Yeah,
that you can
other
do,
stuff.
right? And then I think that helps translate into my production, I guess. Right?
Well, that would
And,
work
like, way
so
I
good
write.
with the cinematic stuff that there's no drums. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like that's
Yeah.
something that's very classical.
Yeah.
No drums at all, and then you're sort of, you know, working into that sound. So
Mhm.
it sounds like it's something that's influenced you a fair
Yeah,
bit.
a bunch.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then yeah, because a lot of my progressions and the way I write is very still classical and very epic. I think is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way I would describe it. You know, it has this big like emotion, like emotive kind of progressives, or progressions, and then yeah, I think the jazz sort of influences help carry across maybe some more into the sound design and like how things like manipulate across tracks, I guess.
Yeah.
It's weird. Is it weird to
Yeah.
describe?
How weird
it's
is
so
music to-
geeky, man.
Yeah,
but
to
yeah.
talk about music is
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, I feel like I've just been geeking out this whole time, but that's cool.
Ah,
All
yeah.
about it.
I,
We
I
vibing.
love it when we get to geek
We
out about
vibing,
music.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like we could do this for hours.
Yeah.
but- so what you know, when you talk about, you know, signing to Catch and stuff,
Mhm.
like how did that happen? Like, you know, did you hit them up? Or did they hit you up? That's what I want to know. Did they hit you up or did you hit them up?
Tell the truth.
Mitch over there telling he's like,
Yeah.
don't lie. Tell the truth. What happened?
No, we'd been talking for a while, and
Yeah.
we had a lunch and talked about it properly.
Yeah.
I think because we'd sort of been umming and ahhing over it for a little bit, and we had a lunch properly, and then you know sort
Yeah.
of hashed out sort of what we wanted from each other, I
Yeah.
guess, and or how we wanted it to our views of the project and stuff, and how we
Yep.
viewed the future and the
Yep.
the vision, and then just went from there. It was like we all worked. It was great,
Yeah.
and it's been fantastic.
Yeah. So you're glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been chasing him for years. Mitch is
Yeah.
over there talking about how they've been trying to sign him for ages, but
Yeah, well, I was
so
always
you ended up, you had the lunch, and then they
Yeah.
fucking, you know, they told you what you needed to hear, and then it's
I
been
guess,
great.
yeah.
It's been great since then. So yeah,
no, like Mitch said, he'd been interested in me for a little while, and I just wasn't wasn't fully sure in what I wanted, which direction I wanted to go. And then once we had that lunch, I was just like, yeah,
You're like, yeah, actually,
Let's
like what
do
you
it.
guys are thinking, I'm thinking too.
exactly,
So yeah,
exactly, yeah. So it was all gravy. You know, it was all
yeah,
cool.
it all worked
So
out well.
yeah,
That's awesome, man. So, but yeah, it's so good to see you, getting out there and getting the music
man.
out again, man.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause-
Oh well, like Shimmer soon. Yeah,
Because
it's gonna be
literally
cool.
on my podcast to be with, like everyone
Yeah.
always goes, because you come up every now and again.
Oh,
on the podcast,
really?
so people, from Oh Hello or whatever, and they're like,
Yeah.
what is Moss doing? Like,
Yeah.
What is that guy doing? Like,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, now it's like,
Yeah.
I always say to people, it's like, well, he's probably working on music.
That's literally
doing,
it. That's
doing
literally
proper
it. Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, that's what
See
you're
you.
doing. Yeah, yeah.
Hello. But yeah, no, it's been that pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That-
it's been cool. And I
that's-
think it's like you're refining your production to be, it's weird because you go through these points of like when you refine your production, you're like, it's not up to the level. It's like it comes a point where you're like, okay, like here's the standard of where you set yourself. And there's a level that you get past where you're like, okay, I'm happy with this. And I would never, like I didn't get to that level for a little bit, and it's like now I'm happy with it. And it's like at to a standard where I'm like, okay, I think this is like professional enough that I am like
Yeah.
comfortable, happy. And it's like being comfortable with like your music, I think that's the biggest thing. And now it's
Yeah.
like comfy and chill and like everything's good,
That's it, man.
and
Like
confident,
people, I love this saying that art is art, which is music. It's never finished. It's just released.
only abandoned.
Because
Yeah.
you could
yeah.
just or abandon. Yeah.
What you
'Cause
have
could just
versus
sit
what
there
you
and work
want,
on it
yeah.
forever.
Oh,
like,
of course.
like,
yeah, no, there's no fun in that.
and that's the best thing when you get like an artist in the studio,
Mm-hmm.
like doing vocals and stuff, and you're like, do it again. Like, no, that was good, but let's do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
like,
more take.
Do it again. No,
Yeah.
really good, but let's just do it once more.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like-
exactly. I get you.
That's that.
Just
yeah.
to have that little,
Yeah,
little
you always
extra
want it to
cut.
be perfect and,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So what else have you got in the works? I know we've spoken about all the music and the shows
Mhm.
and the teaching and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
have you got any other goals that you want to do? Like, I want to do this. I want to go and I want to teach the Dalai Lama how to produce. Or, whatever it is. Is there anything like that that's like a major major goal?
Um,
I want to play Coachella.
yeah,
Coachella.
obvious. The Coachella would be sick. I went
But
to
you know what I
Coachella
mean?
and-
Like,
yeah.
is there anything that's like if I can do that, my life will be complete. I always love asking this question. What's the pinnacle?
Yeah. Oh, I think
The
doing a
ultimate-
US tour would be.
That'd be
pinnacle.
sick. Yeah. Your music could work so well for that. Too.
Yeah, that's where like a lot of my numbers and market is as well. But I think
Yeah.
like there's so much like playing in Vegas, right?
That'd be sick. Pool parties in Vegas.
right? Yeah,
Residency in Vegas
Yeah.
for 2 months. Or something, or a
yeah,
month
right.
or whatever,
Or just I think it's, I think US tour for sure would be incredible, and just to experience that side of it because I think stateside is amazing. I think playing Splendor or anything like that is a massive massive goal of mine as well.
Yeah,
In more the Australian music industry as well. Triple J kind of support.
Bro, you
and
get
all that
you
stuff.
get heaps of support from Triple J.
Yeah,
all your
well-
tunes go to Triple J. Like,
Yeah.
don't
But,
be talking about you want this Triple J support. You're all over that shit.
No,
like,
yeah, no.
when
I,
you do release tunes, that is.
yeah, exactly. It's like I'm incredible. Like they've been so
Yeah.
incredible. Like with their
But
support.
again, your
yeah.
music like lends itself to that. Like that sound.
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
uppercut, the new, fresh kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, and Triple J's, they've just been so
Yeah.
like just incredible in their support as well. I think it's just like I meant Triple J in support of like the like a Triple J like mix up stage or
Yeah,
whatever, or like and that sort of stuff. I think I think just playing shows in other countries is
You wanna travel.
yeah,
You wanna go,
yeah,
experience.
I think that's probably a little bit of my ISO kind
Yeah, you wanna
of
get out
mind
there,
speaking, but yeah,
But you want to share your music with the world.
yeah, I
really,
think it's
like,
just getting as many people to hear as possible and like and enjoy it. That's the main thing, and infect people like in a positive way. That's it, man. That's it. Like that's
sick.
I think that's the
music
goal.
and
That's
life,
it. That's the goal. That's it. Done.
All right, man. Well, cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Dude, thanks, bro.
everyone
thanks
go
for having
out
me.
and make sure you check out Moss.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to have the EP coming soon. There's plenty of tunes out there you can
Yeah.
already go and check out. But check
Shimmer.
out Moss, and Catch Presents will be back in a few months. Once this COVID thing's over, we'll be running some more stuff with some more amazing artists. So hope you guys have enjoyed this little run of series, and we'll see you guys soon.